Avengers Age of Ultron is directed by Joss Whedon once again, and it stars a bunch of people that I can't be bothered to actually name, because there are more characters in this film than the first Avengers. So if I name them, then we're going to be here all day. So the stakes were very high for this film. I mean, when I watched the teaser trailer, I really consider it to be one of the best teasers that I have ever seen. I mean, it was so well done. And I think it's important for comic book superheroes to be treated really well on the big screen. And I think it's a question of if they actually did that well, because in the first film, Joss Whedon nailed it for the character developments in the first Avengers. But did he do the same for this one? So Stark and Banner worked together to create this artificial intelligence life form known as the Ultron, and they accidentally bring it to life. And so Ultron wants humans to be extinct from the whole universe. He just wants bad things to happen to people. And so the Avengers must reunite once again to stop him, because they are the only ones to do that. Now, you probably think that you've seen this type of film before, because we kind of have. I mean, the first Avengers, it pretty much has that plot point taken from that film into this film. But at the same time, you can't really blame them. It's very easy for a person to be critical about this film taking the plot point from the first Avengers and having it in this film. You can't have an Avengers film without a gigantic army battle type of scene, and they have that, because if it's just like 7 superheroes bashing one villain, then it's just going to be boring. This film is filled with some magnificent action sequences, and because of that, and just that alone, I had such a great time with this film. But the most important thing about this film that they did so right are the characters. The characters are so well fleshed out, they are so well done. I had a great time just witnessing these superheroes who are just larger than life, and they are just confronting and talking, and the dialogue that they have between another, to have that banter between, you know, other superheroes and themselves is just great. We learn so much more about these characters. We see more of their backgrounds, especially someone like Black Widow, and more of Hawkeye as well, which I will get to very later. We see them more fleshed out in this film, and they did a heck of a job. Joss Whedon nailed it once again. And here's the thing, what I really do realize when I actually watch these films is, why do we actually watch these films? It's because of the characters. And I'm sure most of you guys are going to go see Infinity War. Why? Because of the characters. A lot of characters. A lot of characters. And having said all that, it doesn't mean that this film's perfect, because it's not. It does not mean that this film does not have problems, because it does. So let's talk about those flaws. Okay, so this film is very rushed. It is very rushed. We get into the first scene, it's action sequences, which is not the problem. The problem is Ultron. Ultron is, by the way, a great villain. He is very funny, he's very humorous, and he is just a brutal character. This robotic AI character, and he's just an evil person. But the way the origins that they put in this film, the way he is introduced, it's just he's there. You know, we don't actually give a crap about how he is just there. It just seems very rushed. It's out of nowhere, and it's very confusing as well. It just seems really rushed to the point where we don't really see the emotional depth. We don't really see the reason as to why we should actually care about why he's just there. He's just there. But luckily enough, he does progress. He does improve as a character more and more towards the film. But let's get into some spoiler territory. So you have been warned. If you have not seen this, I apologize, but I have to explain some spoilers. I found the Black Widow and Hulk romantic, intimate stuff to be just very confusing. It wasn't as if like weird. I mean, yes, it was quite weird. It started off really nice and quite cute. You know, Black Widow is calming down Hulk, you know, patting him on the head. It's quite nice. There's a nice little relationship between the two, you know, friendly sort of stuff. And then we just see the scene later on, Black Widow just hitting on Bruce Banner, and I don't know, it just didn't really seem to work. That's the thing. It just transforms weirdly into the point where Romanoff is just hitting on him, and I think the film almost fails to land that emotional depth. They really fail to do that, and it feels as if they are forcing us to care about what's going on. In the end, Banner is gone, Romanoff is upset, and the audience is pretty much left to be unmoved. We don't, like, nothing really happens. It's like all that build up towards nothing. Who knows? I think the addition to Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, I mean, they're okay, they're fine, they do their job. I prefer Quicksilver in X-Men, all of X-Men. It's just in this one, they are just there once again. It didn't really do much for me, but they were fine. They did their job. I did find Scarlet Witch's powers to be quite interesting. The way she manipulates people's minds, which actually leads to the whole opening scene. The film has got a lot of story into it. In fact, it's got too much story into it. It seems very convoluted, seems a bit too much. Because this is a franchise universe, you have to rely that it has some build up towards the next few films. For example, Thor is gone to some other this sort of well where he's finding a friend, and I think that it obviously leads up to Thor Ragnarok, which I will get to. It's just that scene, it just does not fit with the entire film. And because of this whole franchise and the whole build-up and the whole linking towards the other films, it's just like, what's that doing there? It needs to get out and fit in well with the film, which it did not really do for me. But the best thing that this film does, and they did even better in this film than the first film, is character development. They did that so right. You care about them even more. Hawkeye's character is very interesting. He's not just some guy who's like, oh hey guys, I'm here, I'm Hawkeye, I'm in the Avengers as well. It's not really that anymore, because we see more of his character, we see more of his point of view. He has a family, he's got a wife, his wife is pregnant, they're having a baby, and you care more about it. They really do humanize his character to the point where in the battle scenes, in the final battle scenes, it gets more intense because you actually wonder if he's going to get out there alive. Guys, despite some storytelling flaws, a bit being rushed or whatever, I had a terrific time with Avengers Age of Ultron, and I'm going to give Avengers Age of Ultron 4 out of 5 stars. The next film is going to be Ant-Man. That's a really, really fun one. Probably the final film of Phase 2. Correct me if I'm wrong. Thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe and check out my other Marvel reviews as well. And I'll see you guys soon. Subscribe and have a nice day.